What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan Moore and I have a video production company where I help business owners and entrepreneurs grow their brands online using video and photography. So if you've been on the channel before, then one of the things that you know that I like to do is to review books that I'm actually using in my own personal life, in my own personal business. And I want to share this book right here, this little red book. It's called The Go-Giver, and it is by Bob Burg and John David Mann. Now, this little guy right here is an awesome book, super easy read, nice little story, and basically it is about this guy who is in search of stratospheric success, right? And so in his pursuit of stratospheric success, he is introduced to a mentor who he spends the next week with, and he teaches him these 5 simple laws. So I'm going to go over those laws today. I'm going to show you how I'm using them in my own personal life and my own personal business, what they mean to me. And then, you know, if you guys have read this book, or maybe you're looking to read this book, or you came across some of these laws before, leave some comments below and let me know how you're using it. All right, guys, so I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, but I'll just jump right into it. The first law, which is the law of value. Now, the law of value basically states you want to give more in value than you take in cash payment. Now, I got to admit, at first I was like, what? Taking more in value, you know, giving more in value than you take in cash payment? And yeah, it makes sense. But then you think about it and you're like, well, how can I apply that to my own personal life or my own personal model? Now, this is actually one of my favorite things about this book because it's a story and it's a fictional story. But after they explain each law, right, they give a little story that goes along with it. And so let me give you a quick example of how you can give more in value than you're taking in cash payment. Now, initially, you might be thinking, okay, I'm going to give more in value than I take in cash payment. Well, that doesn't mean that you do all of your work for free, or that doesn't mean that you do all of your work, this great, amazing work, for only $1. No, that's not what it means. Basically, it means just giving value to the other person and giving more value than you're taking in cash payment. So an easy example might be, let's say you get contracted for some type of a job. Photo job, video job, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Okay, and let's just say that job costs $100. Well, there's an exchange in value right there, right? They're exchanging the $100 and you are going to exchange in turn the value that you're providing is the finished product. But how can you give more in value than you're taking in cash payment? Does this mean necessarily to do more work? Does this mean to give them, you know, more edited versions or something of that nature? Not necessarily. You know, that value that you provide could be just the user experience, you know, the experience of working with you, right? Going above and beyond, you know, listening to them, getting back to them in a timely manner, just going above and beyond, right? That's giving extra value. That's more value than you're taking in payment, because really the payment is just for the product that you're supplying at the end. The added value on top of it could be, you know, that experience of working with you. Another example of giving more in value than you take in payment could be giving a referral. So let's just say, for example, if you're at some type of event or you come across somebody, they're telling you about something that they need and it's not something that you provide personally, but you do know somebody who does provide that service. Well, giving them a referral, right, is giving them more in value than you're taking from them in cash payment. You haven't taken anything from them in cash payment, but you gave them value of something that they needed to help them solve a problem. All right, law number 2, law of compensation, which says that your income is determined on how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So this is something that I've been hearing for a while now, just like, you know, if you want to become a millionaire, figure out how to serve 1 million people. And basically that's exactly what the book is saying, that your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them, which is very inspiring because that lets you know that your income is actually unlimited because you can serve basically unlimited amounts of people. Now, let's not get it twisted. You have to have, you know, something that you're bringing to the marketplace, but you determine that by how many people you serve. So if you're only serving a limited amount of people, then your income is going to be limited. But if you can find a way to serve a greater amount of people, then you can get even more income because you're providing even more value. And also how well you serve them. How well you serve them means, you know, the impact that you're having. So the thing is that you might see somebody, for example, they used a school teacher or say a police officer, right? And they're doing great things, they're serving the community, but their impact is pretty limited because they're only teaching that classroom or they're only serving that community. If they could serve every community, if they could teach millions of kids, they can have even more of an impact, and then they would get even more compensation, right? Because of the amount of people they serve and how well they're serving them. Law number 3, law of influence. And this law basically states that it's like the old Zig Ziglar saying, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. So basically the law of influence says that your influence is determined by how much you put other people's interests before your own. So that really automatically makes me think of Zig Ziglar, motivational speaker. You probably heard of him, and if you never did, you need to Google him, check him out. But basically his thing is, you help enough people get what they want, and in return, you'll get what you want. And that's what the law of the law of influence basically states, is that how well or how much you put other people's interests ahead of your own, how much you help other people get what they want, will determine how much influence you have in the marketplace. Law number 4, which is my favorite one, law of authenticity, which basically says the most important thing that you have to offer is you. And that is so true. Remember, when we sell our products or when we're trying to get somebody to come on board or be a part of something, what we're selling is ourselves, right? The product is, it's a byproduct, but it's us. We are the most important thing. And so I believe in authenticity to like the oomph degree. So much so that, I would like to go to a suit and tie event in this, but I understand that I can't. But the whole thing is just being authentic, being yourself, man. Just not being afraid to get yourself out there and just be like, hey, it is what it is. I am who I am, and I showed up how I showed up. But people love people who are authentic, who are genuine. You know how it is. You ever talk to somebody and you feel like something's a little off? They're not claiming to be who they say they are. Yeah, authenticity. Living that thing, you know what I'm saying? Now, the last law, the law of receptivity, which basically says in order to give effectively, you have to be open to receiving. Now, one of the things I love that they mentioned in this book was this particular topic. He talks about giving and how when we're younger, you're always taught that it's better to give than it is to receive. Now, his mentor explains in his book how it's kind of a ridiculous concept, right? It's like exhaling and never inhaling for air. In order to give, you have to receive, and in order to receive, you have to give. He gives the example of like us and the trees, right? So we breathe out carbon dioxide, the trees take in the carbon dioxide, and they give us oxygen, and then we breathe in that oxygen and we give back to carbon dioxide, right? So it's a constant giving and receiving. So in order to really be in order to give effectively, you also have to be open to receiving. And I know this can be, for people like myself, this could be a tough one, because sometimes you just want to be like, nah, man, it's good, you ain't got to give me nothing for that. But basically, when we do that, we're insulting the other person. We're not allowing them to give us a gift to show their appreciation or, to compensate us for the value that we provided for them. So this was a quick one today, guys. Hopefully you liked it. Once again, give me a thumbs up, hit the like button, drop some comments in there if you have read this book or if you're thinking about checking it out. Maybe some other books that are kind of like this that, I would love to read. I'm always looking for something new. And until the next time, people, remember, go out there and get it how you live, because the most valuable thing that you have to offer is you. Peace.